doing, or jealous of the other women doing things with him?
I can't really tell you.
Yeah.
I can't define it separately. It was all part of the same issue. Now, if he was going with a bunch of males and hanging out and taking the kids fishing, I don't think I would have felt the same way so much.
Right.
It probably would have bothered me a little bit, but I don't like to fish.
But you know what? Isn't that sad how we're all women here and how we think of that of our own gender? That there's an ulterior motive. That
but
it's
that's
the
problem because sometimes there is.
It's like you did. We're just the way you said it, and I'm not picking on you, but the way you said it was you didn't like him being around those other women as opposed to looking at him and try. And I know I get it because everybody has those ups and downs in any relationship and stuff like that. But it was like he has a choice. It's his choice. No matter what you do or don't do, somebody's going to do it. You can't control it. It's just going to happen. You know what I mean?
And we've super evolved since then.
I know.
We've really evolved since then.
So
but I mean, that was a rough patch,
and it's a good thing that you talk about it because that's just it. That's what a relationship is. It's
when
like
you get that funny feeling in your stomach, you can't hold that in. That's wrong.
I
think that would have been a bigger mistake.
You know what he did? He backed off of it.
See?
Yeah, which is good. But I'm just saying, like, I do it. I'm guilty of the fact of, like, sometimes, like, the gender of women, I'm like, what are they doing with that? You know what I mean? Right away, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. He's a grown-ass man. Why am I worried about the women are doing?
Right.
He has a voice. You know, and I'm not talking about your husband, but just all of these times, it's just like that. You know, if it's good, you know, and like when we're talking about a man and a woman friendship, if you're friends, long before they take that next step, the relationship has broken down between husband and wife.
Right.
Yeah, there's something missing if it gets to that point.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, years and years ago, before I was married, I had a friend named Bob, and we were just...
Hi, Bob.
We were just great friends. We were really good friends. And then he met this woman named Kay, and he would talk about me and stuff, and she didn't like that at all. Nope. And so finally I had to meet her, and I met her, and at first she didn't really like me very much, but we got to be best friends. Yep. So then it was me and Kay and Bob, and Kay went to Vegas with me to see my mom. We got to be really good friends. And then after Bob died, Kay and I stayed good friends for a long time.
That's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
It is.
But she was like, I mean, the look on her face when we first met was like she looked me up and down.
Yeah, like,
and
what do you?
Because you were cute as a bug.
But isn't that funny? I get it. It's like it's almost like this territory thing. But how, guys will embrace each other. And I mean, they don't do that. They just kind of give you that look, and it's not a pissing contest. Women become very possessive and think the worst of another woman right away. I mean, it's just who we are. It's just like, well, why is she? What does she know? Why is she so close? Right. He doesn't need to be best friends with her. I'm in the picture where men are all like, oh, hey, you're friends with my wife? Oh, yeah, nice to know you. What, you like to fish? You like to do these things? They don't look at, it's just this thing.
Although, Patrick has often said that the biggest magnet for single women is a wedding ring.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah.
He says, because he wears his wedding ring sometimes, but sometimes it irritates him, so he doesn't wear it. And he notices that when he's wearing his wedding ring, if he's out and about, he gets more attention from women than if he doesn't.
That makes me kind of mad.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of sickening. But
it's sex.
It's a mentality.
It's a certain kind of woman
it is,
that does
and it's
that.
a mentality.
Right. And it's
but it's not every woman.
No. But it makes sense.
It does.
Because he's a nice guy. He's married. I mean, think about it. If I see a guy with a wedding ring and he's sitting at the bar, I'll sit next to him because he's got a wedding ring. So I know he's got a wife. So I'm already making all these assumptions like he's safe, he's a nice guy, I can chat to him, as opposed to sitting next to a guy, no wedding ring, no nothing. I'm like, oh, I'll sit down here.
What's
by
wrong
myself.
with him?
But there are certain women that want a man who's not available because they want the good stuff, but they don't want to have to deal with the bad stuff.
That's absolutely right.
You know, like, I don't want to have to take care of him. I don't want to do his laundry. I don't want to cook for him, but I want the good stuff. I want to date, and I want money, and I want this. I mean, there's certain people.
I see, and I would disagree. I think statistically, I think we think it, but I don't think it's really out there as much. I mean, I know there's an attraction to a married man and women. There always is.
Right.
And that is something you can't have.
Or sometimes it's even like, because my husband, he looks super young.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll tell you this quick story because it's funny as heck. When we first moved to Pigeon up in the Thumb area,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the name of the town. I'm like, not to just sidetrack.
Exactly.
What did you think? I mean, when you said we're going to name our town Pigeon? Sorry.
Well,
I think
it
there were.
was
I think
either
there were
gull
birds
or pigeon.
involved. But
Sorry,
no, that's
Julia.
okay. So every day after school, he would take the boys down to the Shell gas station,
Yep.
and he would get them a snack. It was like the thing, like go get a
Yeah.
little Debbie
Yep,
and a
yep.
little fruit
Yep.
thing, you know. So they would go down there, and about 3 months into us living there, I went in there one day. And the girl behind the counter was probably in her mid to late 20s. My husband looks very young. And she goes, "Oh, I saw your boys down here earlier." And it was like 2:00. And I was like, "No, you didn't see my boys." She's like, "Oh, no, just the oldest one."
Bitch.
And I'm like, "That's my husband." But I laugh. But I was just illustrating that he is very young
Yes,
looking.
yeah.
And when he shaves his beard, like literally 20-somethings
Right.
are coming out of nowhere, like at
You
him.
know.
So it's really weird to me, but it's like, you know, a lot of them, you know, they want the fun and they want the excitement, but they don't want to settle down. And
Right.
a man who is married is non-committal. And also,
Right.
a lot of them seek out the... what am I wanting? The like they're trying to see if they can get him.
Right.
Like
it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
The
It's like, can I
chase.
get
The
him away
chase,
from
right.
his wife?
Yes.
Let me see if
Right.
I can get some attention from this
Yeah.
married man.
Right.
Like it's a chase, but that's the younger versions
Yes,
of women.
they are. I agree. I
You
know,
know-
it's out there. It is.
You
It's
know,
truly
when
out
I was
there,
in
but
real estate, I was so careful about the way I dressed, not to show any cleavage, not to wear too short of stuff, not because when I was showing houses to couples, the way that the wife was,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Right. Yep.
and
Super important.
Right.
Right.
It is. That's a professionalism and
right,
stuff. You
and
know.
and the women that did do all that showed cleavage and stuff didn't do that well
Right.
with couples. They
Right.
did good with single. Why are you laughing so hard?
Yes. But
Because now I show my cleavage all the
That's
time.
right.
Is that what's
No, I'll tell you in a minute. I got another story, but I'll tell you in a minute.
But yeah.
So, and I was so careful. And one day my husband said to me, I don't know why you dress so, because at home and stuff, I didn't dress conservatively. When we
Right.
were going out,
Yeah.
I did not dress I mean, not that I had booty hanging out or anything, but, you know, I
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't dress.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't know why you dress like that for work. And I just looked at him and I thought to myself, really?
Yeah.
Seriously? And he goes, you'd probably do a lot better if you wore tighter clothes. or
Unbuttoned a
something."
couple
Yeah.
buttons.
Yes.
That's a male mentality
One of
there.
the most, in my relationship, being married 34 years, when I think we were married probably about 10 or 15 years, somewhere in that time frame. I'll never forget having a conversation with Chris, and I said to him, I am now at a point in our marriage where I said, if you choose to have an affair, it has nothing to do with me.
Right.
Nothing. And it really was like very freeing for me when I said that to him, and he looked at me like, what the hell is that? And I goes, no. I finally am at a good place, and it gets peaks and valleys or whatever, but it's just like, no, if there's something you choose, it isn't because I didn't cook the dinner right, or we didn't have sex all the
Right.
time, or I put on weight, or I lost weight, or I'm getting old. No, it has nothing to do with me. That shit is all going to be on you. And it was so freeing, and it really has helped our relationship because
Very cool.
you know, if he leaves, if he's gone all day, I'm like, hey, what's up? And he'd say, oh, he's out here. And I'm like, all right. I mean, if he chooses to have an affair, it's like, no, I don't have blinders on. That's a choice he made. And then I
but
choose.
it's no reflection on how
Right.
you are as a wife.
And I choose.
Right.
And it's not
Absolutely.
having my head in the sand like people say, how did she not know? And that's called trust. You have to trust. You have to be all in
Because
and
you
trust.
could drive yourself
Oh,
crazy.
God, yes.
Trust
Yeah.
is the basis of
Yeah,
any
you know.
relationship.
But it was a
Any.
freeing. Chris thought it was half-ass crazy, but well, he's used to me now. I just say, hey, I need to tell you something. I will not worry about this no more. Take that half off. Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
But it was. Yep, I'll never forget when I said that to him.
Crazy.
So funny. So I want to tell you my story really
Right.
quick because
Okay.
it was funny.
I love it.
Fart.
I know. I can see
Say
you
your thing
thinking.
again.
I
Say your thing again. So it's like walking back in a room. Tell me again what you were saying.
Yeah.
About what?
Oh, wearing clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So
Slutty clothes.
Everybody,
Slutty
yes.
clothes.
Everybody knows I'm a doctor. Everybody who listens to my show knows
That's
I'm a
right,
doctor.
Doc.
And I'm a chiropractor, so I touch people. And I touch people in vicarious places sometimes because that's the nature of the adjustment. I have to touch their butt. I have to touch their, not their privates, but I have to,
No.
go around that area sometimes. It just is what it is. So I dress as unprovocatively as I can. I dress like a
That's smart.
grandma. I don't wear makeup. I do myself so I'm clean looking, but I'm very asexual. I have to maintain asexual mentality when I'm in there, and I want people to look at me as their grandma or their mother or something like that.
As the professional that you are.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
So now I have to call you Grandma Doc?
Don't.
Okay.
But anyway, so I do. I dress like that. So then a couple years into practice, Patrick and I went out for dinner. It was around Christmas time. And one of my patients actually, who owns a business, had their employee meeting at the same restaurant. Or not their employee meeting, like their employee Christmas party at the same restaurant. So he came out and he saw me sitting there, and I was all done up. I mean, I was dolled up. I dolled myself up, because I was on a date with my husband. And he goes, you really need to come in and say hi to everybody, because there was a few people that worked with him that were my patients, and he happened to know about that, not through me, but he just knew about that. So he's like, you have to come in and you have to say hi to so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't really want to crash your Christmas party. And he's like, no, you do. You need to come in. So I walk in, and I go to the first table, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's good to see you, Oh, I hope you guys are having a good time. Well, the lady that worked with me, her daughter happened to be in there at that table because she was married to somebody that worked for the fella. So she's sitting there, and later on I find this out. So I walk away, and the next day Marcia calls me, and she says, you know what's funny? I'm like, what's funny? She's like, when you walked up, the guy sitting next to me, as soon as you walked away, the wife elbowed him and said, I thought you said she was ugly. She said the only reason he got to go to you at all was because you told her that you were ugly. He was in big trouble. But truly, I don't present myself that way. So he was right.
Yeah.
I was not ugly per se, but I was very plain Jane. I'm very understated. Mm-hmm. But when the wife saw me dolled up and she'd never seen me before, oh my goodness, did that flip a switch in her? I don't remember. I think he was done. Usually, I don't see him all the time.
And I can just hear that conversation. I thought you said, you told me that.
You told me.
She was probably.
I've been out with Chris before where we'll be in a bar at a party or whatever, and he'll come up and he'll go, hey. He goes, see that lady over there? And I go, yeah. He goes, she's hitting on me. And I goes, cool. Have at it. Your choice. And he just goes, no, I'm telling you. So, kiss me or something. I go, nope. You're on your own.
Get her away from me.
Shoot her down like that. But he will. People will. I had one where she was sitting across from us at a table at a party, and he goes, hey, she's reaching under the table and rubbing my leg, and I goes, shut up. And I looked down, and I goes, oh yeah, and I just looked at her, and I just go, so, what are you doing? She goes, he's your husband, and I goes, he is. She goes, sorry, and I says, all right. Wow. Yeah. But
that's another apology that didn't mean much right
that's
there.
Pretty forward,
but I was
though,
sorry.
And I just kind of chuckled. I wasn't
sorry.
jealous, but I know Chris was looking at me like, and I'm like, no, I got to stand up for your ass. Stand up for yourself and say, hey, what are you doing? This is my wife. Because I would say that if a guy was in a
right, exactly.
I don't need Chris to defend me. I'd be like, hey, whoa.
Don't touch me, man.
Yeah, no, I'm happily. A lot of times I say I'm married. They go, well, that's okay. And I goes, no, it's actually fabulous. But I'm one of the happily married people that, no, thanks for the cocktail, but no, this ends here, kind of thing.
But they get like deer in the headlights. Yeah. They're like, I don't know what to do.
Happily
I haven't
married?
had a woman hit on me in 20 years. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, but then I think he was waiting for me, someone to be kind of a little bit like, what? Yeah, that's my man. Back over there. I was like, no.
So I'm going to change the subject a little bit.
This is a fun subject.
It is. But we're going to take a little commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about our relationship with ourselves.
Love it.
So we'll be right back. It's already, we've already been on an hour.
I know we have.
I can't believe it.
We're ridiculous.
So hang in there.
The Divas are going to refill their wine glasses. The Devolution Show will be right back.
Christine Bosbash and Cindy Hopkins have partnered together to bring you a brand new, naturally based, anti-aging, exclusive hair care line. Monate is the only home-based hair care line in America, and they want to bring it to you. They offer premium products for all types of